Okay, so for our learning this week, we are going to be continuing with our English literature, and we're going to be continue with Into the Forest by Anthony Brown. We started looking at it last week, and we'll read a little bit more, although we won't actually finish it until next week. So let's make a start. One night I was woken up by a terrible sound. The next morning all was quiet. Dad wasn't there. I asked Mum when he was coming back, but she didn't seem to know. At school, we were looking at the pictures and we noticed the soldier, and then one of the children pointed out that the light looked like a helmet that soldiers would wear, so they inferred that Dad was maybe in the army, which we don't actually know yet. We just know Dad's not there. I missed Dad. The next day, Mum asked me to take a cake to Grandma. She was poorly. I love Grandma. She always tells me such fantastic stories. There are 2 ways to get to Grandma's house. The long way round, which takes ages, or the short way through the forest. Don't go into the forest, said Mum. Go the long way round. And I'm just going to pause it here just to explain the first couple of activities. The first 3 activities this week are based upon this point of the story, and then what you can do is once you finish activity 3 you can carry on listening to the video to hear the rest of the story to carry on to the final activity this week. So the first one is an activity where we're putting ourselves in the role of the boy, and it's called a question in hand activity, where I would like you to pretend that you are this character and that you are missing your dad, and there are questions that you want to ask him. And these are the 5 W's that we use when we're asking questions. And what I would like you to do is you can draw around your own hand and write these keywords down, and also a question mark just to remind you of the punctuation that we use when we're asking questions. And I just want you to think of a question you could ask Dad. Not like, what is your favourite food, but asking him about the situation in the story. When will you come home? Why did you leave? Something like that. Because these questions are going to help you with activity 2. So you can just write your 5 questions down here, or what you could do is you could draw like little lines and then you could write your sentence coming off the finger. That's another way of doing it. It's a nice activity to practice different sentence types, but also it's kind of planning for our writing that you're going to be doing next. So what I would like you to do for activity 2, which follows on from activity 1, is to actually compose, so to write or create an email to Dad. That's one of the ways we communicate, and we can communicate nowadays, is through email. So there are 2 ways you can do this. I have uploaded an email writing template that you can write your email out in, or you could actually type it up. If you ask a parent to help you with this, you can type it up and send it to my school email. That's another way of doing it. And if you haven't used a keyboard before, it'll be a whole new experience for you guys. Or whatever you're using, a touch keyboard. What I do want you to think about is the conversation tone when you're writing an email. So you'll be using the questions that you have planned here. So dear Dad, they're kind of like letters, or hi Dad. You would start it off quite informal. Hi Dad, I hope that you are having a good time wherever you are. What is the weather like where you are? And as you ask him a question, you're answering the question yourself, but with things that are relevant to you. So for example, if you say to him, hi Dad, hope you're having a good time where you are. What's the weather like? The weather here is cold and miserable, so I hope it's better for you. When will you come home? I hope you're coming home soon. So you're asking him a question, but the conversation tone is that you're answering it as well, and you're also letting him know what's going on here. So you can, although you're the boy, you can think about what's he doing here. Well, he's sat and he's bored and he's not really playing much. He's writing, but even when he's writing or watching TV or colouring or going in and out the house, he's still thinking, come home, Dad. So you could even talk about that in your email. It's a nice little activity to do, and if we were at school, we would practice writing this on word processor, so we would get used to using a laptop or a keyboard. So at least that option is there for you if you would like it to be. Activity 3 is based on this page. Okay, we know that this little boy is going to see his grandma, and he loves his grandma, and there are 2 ways to grandma's house, the long way and the short way. And Mom quite rightly says to him, don't go into the forest. She's giving him a command there, don't go into the forest, go the long way round. What we need to think about is, should he or shouldn't he go through the forest? So I want you to think now of reasons why he should and why he shouldn't. So we would do something like Conscience Alley, if we were in the classroom, kind of like a speaking our thoughts activity. So what I would like you to do is think about both sides. Should he go through the reasons why he should go through the forest, and also reasons why he shouldn't. And then I want you to compose a text message. So I've uploaded a template for this, like a phone. It looks like an iPhone with some lines, and you can type it in. We don't know the boy's name, so you come up with the boy's name yourself, or you can just say to the boy. And I would like you to say, I think you should, or I think you shouldn't go through the forest because. And it's the because that's justifying your answers. What in the text, or what do you know about stories that are similar to this one? What do you already know that's going to help you come up with a really good reason why he should or why he shouldn't go through the forest? So they're the first 3 activities. The 4th one is about the pictures used in this book, and I've taken pictures of them. I've taken photographs, and I'm going to upload them. Because what I love doing with Auntie Brown, as I've said loads of times, is really delving deep into the illustrations, the intertextuality and the hidden clues. So I'm going to carry on reading a little bit more of the book from now, and what I would like you to do is you could print the photos out, or you could just have a look at them on a screen, or if you've got this book at home, have a look at them and just write down what you can see, any intertextuality, any books that it makes you think of, any films that it makes you think of, if there's any hidden clues that you see, any hidden pictures, if you see anything, write it down, but also write down what it makes you think of and why it makes you think of that. So I'm going to carry on now. But that day, for the first time, I chose the quick way. I wanted to be home in case Dad came back. And that's the front cover almost, isn't it? After a short while, I saw a boy. Do you want to buy a nice milky moo cow? He asked. No, I said. Why would I want a cow? I'll swap it for that sweet fruity cake in your basket, he said. No, it's for my poorly grandma, I said, and walked on. I'm poorly, I heard him saying. I'm poorly. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the pictures. As I went further into the forest, I met a girl with golden hair. What a sweet little basket, she said. What's in it? A cake for my grandma. She's poorly. I'd like a lovely cake like that, she said. I walked on and could hear her saying, But it's a lovely little cake. I'd like one like that. The forest was becoming darker and colder, and I saw 2 other children huddling by a fire. Have you seen our Dad and Mum? The boy asked. No, have you lost them? They're cutting wood in the forest somewhere, said the girl. But I'd wish they'd come back. As I walked on, I could hear the dreadful sound of the girl crying. But what could I do? I was getting very cold and wished that I'd bought a coat. Suddenly I saw one. It was nice and warm, but as soon as I put it on, I began to feel scared. I felt that something was following me. I remembered a story that Grandma used to tell me about a bad wolf. I started to run, but I couldn't find the path. I ran and ran deeper into the forest, but I was lost. Where was Grandma's house? And I'm going to leave it there. There's lots of fantastic hidden clues, hidden pictures, intertextuality. There's so much going on in these pictures. I love it. Okay, I will upload them onto the class page, and just you can, if you print them off, you can draw on them, you can circle all the things you can find, and I'm interested to see what you pick up. So have fun with these, and thank you.